banger.
I've been all in my bag, you been all in my business. You be all in your feelings. I've been all in them trenches. I've been all in my bag.
Hey guys, I'm Sai. Welcome to Ace Podcast Nation. This is Keepin It Real with Andrew Thompson. Let's call it Series 3. Why not? We've been on a hiatus as Andrew's been interviewing everyone in the world of wrestling, and I've been recording 20 million podcasts a week. So we've had a little break. We're back, and we're going to talk WrestleMania week and the aftermath of WrestleMania as well. But with no further ado, let's get the man himself in. I'm delighted to welcome PostWrestling.com's writer and interviewer, the GOAT, Mr. Andrew Thompson. How are you, my friend?
Side of Science guy. It is great to be back on the podcast. It's been literally months since we last did one.
I know. We haven't done one in 2022, mate.
Jesus, for real?
We haven't. Yeah, I checked back. The last one we did was like November time, which is
Jesus.
I couldn't believe how long like that had been. But like I say,
was that pre-Survivor Series?
I think so. Yeah. Let me have a look now. That's what I mean. It's been so long. So this is Series 3, my friend. But look, there's a lot of wrestling to talk about. So we're going to do two shows. We're going to do one now, and then we're going to record another one as well. We're going to kind of break it into two. There is so much to talk about. So before we kind of move on to like the WrestleMania week and the build-up and the everything which kind of went on different shows and everything which happened over that sort of week, I wanted to talk to you a bit. You've been doing loads of interviews and stuff. I see, like as COVID has kind of opened up and stuff a bit, you've been getting out there interviewing the people in face to face. That been good to get back to the grind, as it were.
Yeah, man, it's cool to get back out there and going back to shows and stuff like that. Like it's a lot of independent shows like in the area I'm in, like that sort of come through here and they run consistently, maybe like bi-monthly and stuff like that. So it's cool to like get back out these shows and also like travel to different states and stuff. Like that was my first WrestleMania that I got to be a part of, like WrestleMania week that I got to do, and like going to like the different independent shows and stuff like that, and catching up with talent and catching up with people that you meet on social media. That was real cool, man. And I interviewed my first day down there. I went down to the MLW Intimidation Game Show, and I interviewed Myron Reed. And then I went and caught up with Michael Loku, who's from the UK. Michael Loku, he's he works for Rare Pro, the British Cruiserweight champion. I got some other stuff lined up as well that I can't wait to get out there and show the people, man. And also, I'm back on the as soon as I got back home, I got back on the Zoom grind as well. I got some interviews and I'm editing and probably put out in a couple in the coming weeks and stuff like that. So yeah, WrestleMania week was cool, man. It was great seeing everybody and all that good stuff, man. And, how did you enjoy WrestleMania week, man? How was it? How did you enjoy? How did you enjoy like all the shows and stuff like that?
It was good. I didn't watch as many like last year and the previous, particularly last year. I think I tried to watch as many different shows on like Fight and all these different things like last year. This year, I don't know. I just didn't. I don't know whether it was a time thing or what. Like because the problem is you've got wrestling. TV wrestling's on like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday now. And then when you try and add in like these special shows and stuff, like I haven't even watched that multiverse of matches or whatever it was, the Impact show, which I heard was pretty good. I was quite interested in that. But like I just haven't had a chance to get around to it. So I'm kind of still catching up. I'm aware of most of the main stuff, but there was just too much stuff. But it was exciting. It did feel like the build up to WrestleMania. It felt like it was WrestleMania again. Obviously, with COVID and everything, it was, they still did it last year, but it wasn't the same, was it? As like this year, all the shows were on, so you had all the talent and people were in town, and you could certainly feel it on like social media and stuff like that. Just the excitement for it. I mean, it seems like there's only one place to start, really, because it is the biggest sort of story. He's the first person to jump from AEW to WWE, as it were. There's been a few going the other way, but not the other way. And he was in it, obviously an EVP as well, which makes it a bit more, I don't know what you call it. It's certainly a big story. Like, how did you react when you found out first that Cody was leaving, and then that it seemed as if he was going to the WWE? Were you surprised?
When he confirmed the news that he was a free agent, I thought it was gonna be like some, him and Tony Khan probably. I mean, well, see, this is the thing. I remember when the news first broke. I know he confirmed Sean Ross Sapp's report about being a free agent. And then, like, I thought that, I mean, I didn't think it was like a story or anything, but I'm talking about like storyline, but I thought it was going to be like, something to just get out there and like make it known while he and Tony Khan get their negotiations together until they figure whatever they need to figure out. And then once he put out the statement, like the big statement, and Brandy did too, I was like, oh yeah, he gone. Cause like I'm like a big, but like even not even just wrestling. I feel like once people put out like those statements and stuff, and they start thanking everybody, ain't no going back. Like I'm talking about like not years down the line, but I'm talking about like once you do that, then you could look stupid as hell if you like end up going back there. So like you out the door now. Like once you start putting out the statements and start thanking everybody and all that type of stuff, I was like, oh yeah, he's out. But like the question of like him going back to WWE, I kind of feel like it was like what else, like what else would he go? Like I mean, I know people like, oh, it is definitely plenty of other options out there, but like, I mean, come on now, bruh. Like what, like that was like the only place like that seemed like fitting for for him to go back to and be there on a full-time basis. So yeah, it was I mean, I really wasn't. I mean, I was shocked to like see him like actually back in WWE under a full-time deal, and I'm still kind of like still shocked to see him, like even when I saw him on Raw. It's like kind of wild seeing Cody back on TV, after everything that went down, and smashing the throne and all the trash talk. But I mean, he straight up addressed all that in all these different interviews. Like he ain't shying away from no questions. I think the only thing he hasn't talked about tonight is Tony Khan is like the exact specifics of why they couldn't come to an agreement, and I don't think that's ever gonna come out. Unless one of them decide to take that first little shot or whatever it may be. But yeah, man, Cody Rhodes back in the WWE, and I was I mean, I think it's good for wrestling, bro, for people to go back and forth. Like I don't think it's ever gonna be a bad thing if you got people jumping from AEW to WWE or WWE to AEW. Like it makes stuff overall exciting, man. And then also the benefits of AEW is like a lot of these top talents, they can work a lot of independent days. Like you have fucking Moxley, like this dude is like everywhere doing everything. This motherfucker's on national TV on Wednesdays, and he bleeding with Biff Music at Bloodsport on like 2 days later. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think the wrestling business, like especially coming out of the well, I mean the pandemic's still going on, but I mean like as we sort of inch further away from when it first started, I think it's healthy, man. And I don't think Cody gonna be the last one to jump from AEW to WWE. Like I was had a conversation with some people. I was like, I think probably like the next person to do it is probably like Anna Jay. I think she probably gonna make the jump. Like I can see her moving over there. Like I can see, if I can't see Warlow. I think Warlow got a good spot right now. But like it's a couple of people, man. Like I can definitely see, people making that, back and forth switch, and it's good overall for the space that we in.
Yeah, it's good. It's good for the business, I think, overall. And it was weird seeing Cody come out to Cody's, the music that he's used in Ring of Honor and AEW and New Japan, and it was really strange seeing him basically come out as the same character, the same, everything. Because that's something which we've seen with some other people recently. They like to own their trademarks, and they like to You know, if they've got to change your name, they will change your name. You look at Elias, you look at Gunther instead of Walter. You look at all these different people who've had name changes. Raquel Gonzalez, wasn't it? Was Raquel Rodriguez, I think, now on SmackDown. Yeah. Like, so you wouldn't have been surprised to see him come back as like dashing Cody Rhodes, or, you know, use his old music or whatever, like, because that's what they do. So the fact that he was able to do that, negotiate that, I think that's a good sign also. And they even had like the kind of the press things after WrestleMania that AEW just, you know, always does afterwards, which was wild. Like, I've never known WWE to do that, and there we had it. So, you know, these are good things for the wrestling business. I do agree with you. I think there's a few people in AEW. I think there's a few people in AEW actually who might end up going back and forth a few times. Like, if you look at like Daniel Bryan or Bryan Danielson, like, you know, obviously he's going to be with AEW for a couple of years, but I mean, he's got a good relationship with the WWE. His wife is, you know, still there and thereabouts within the company. So you wouldn't be surprised if at the end of his contract, he went back to WWE for one last run and a Hall of Fame kind of induction or whatever. MJF is obviously the one who talks about it a lot. As much as I think he's kind of suited to WWE in some ways, I also think he's just very clever, and he knows that if he keeps talking about it, when his contract's up, Tony Khan's going to pay him the big money to stay. And if not, he'll get the big money at WWE. He's a very, very clever dude. But in terms of the Cody's return, I thought the match with Seth Rollins was fantastic. But it was really good. The promo he cut on Monday night on the Raw, I thought was very similar to the ones he's done on AEW, which haven't always clicked with the audience. But I think it was all right. I don't think it was like fire, but I don't think it was terrible either. I thought it was quite honest and, you know, emotional and whatever, but I think he needs to be interested in what he does tonight. If he cuts another promo, what direction he goes in, because I think there's only so many times you can say, I'm going to do it for my father. I want the title. Like, they've got to move that along a bit now. So as we record this Monday night, in a few hours, Raw will be starting. Be interested to see what they do with him, like storyline wise. I saw somewhere that he might feud with The Miz. Do you think that's a good direction?
I mean,
or do you think he should go straight up?
For a first match, like, I mean, who the fuck else is he supposed to face? Like, I saw like it was a whole conversation about it. I'm like, when you looking at WWE's roster, and I mean, they, you know, like they made the decision to release all these damn people that you could be having these fresh matchups with, but like, you gotta sort of take it slow because you ain't got that many people to be just throwing at Cody like that, like, and without it getting dry. You know, they do like to do their rematches. So I'm like, The Miz is like, if you want to throw somebody out there, it might as well be The Miz. Like, you know, Cody ain't gonna fucking get hurt. You know what I'm saying? He ain't gotta go all. I mean, he could go all out and have a good ground, like, just like it's just a very simple, easy match with The Miz. 8 minutes. You know, they get all the stuff. You know, Miz could use all the, you know, hijinks if he chooses to, and like, I mean, matter of fact, I don't even think it's gonna be like. I think by the time we see it, it's gonna be like a very simple pro wrestling match, and, you know, Cody gonna get the win. You know, just to build him up, and they'll probably do something like maybe 2 weeks from now, or maybe they'll run it back again. But I mean, WrestleMania Backlash is until May 8th, so like, I'm definitely not trying to see no like extended Cody Miz thing. But I mean, if that's the first thing he's gonna be doing, then I mean, like, you know, you might as well. Like, the whole thing with Cody and you know, possibly winning the world title is like I do think that they are going to put the world title on him, because I feel like he has a lot of buzz around his name, and you have very few people in that men's division that has the same amount of buzz or even close to the amount of buzz as Cody. Like you got, I think, despite losses for both of them, I think Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins are still hot. Like I don't know what that Ezekiel shit was like last week. I think they need to stay away from that or like let somebody else handle that. Like I think I think they just trust Kevin Owens because they know how good he is. So they like, oh, you could probably ease this along, but I don't think you should be like I think especially coming off of work. I mean, you see that's the difficult thing. You come off of work and having Stone Cold Steve Austin's last match, like where the hell do you go from that? Like there I don't think there's any the only way you can go up from that is if by putting him in the world title picture. Like that's legitimately the only way you can go. Anything else is a downgrade. Like that's just what it like. But you just wrestled Stone Cold Steve Austin, and it would probably more than likely is his last match ever. You know what I'm saying? And even with Seth Rollins, when he came out and did the thing with Cody, people were still singing his theme song and popping for him. So Seth is clearly still over. Like that loss didn't really hurt him too much. So like when I'm looking at it, I mean, I think they'll probably like I can see them like taking Seth off TV for like a couple weeks and then bringing him back like right around the time for WrestleMania Backlash and then running it back with Cody or something like that. Or but like as far as him winning the world title or him being in that world title scene, I don't think don't rush that. Like I say SummerSlam, something like that. Like maybe you build him up for Money in the Bank, tease that a little bit. Like you got ways to go with it, but like they WWE they have like a slim roster when it comes to like matches that people actually want to see. So I think that you need to sort of take it slow a little bit because you can burn through a lot of these matches very, very quickly. So I think they should just take it slow. But I do think that he'll be in the world title picture by the summer.
Yeah, I wonder whether they may kind of like do some sort of multi-man match to determine like a number one contender or whatever, but also do qualifier matches for that match. So for elimination chamber or a ladder match or something, so that they can have him do a couple of matches with the Miz or whoever to qualify, and then obviously he's in a multi-man match, so they don't burn through several matches and feuds really quickly, because like you say, there's only so many guys who are credible threats. And at the moment, like you've just signed AEW's EVP, you don't want to drop him to just another guy. Like you need to, if they're gonna have him as the guy who takes the belt of Roman, then keep building him now, so that by the time he faces Roman, whenever that is, he's still hot. Seth. He's, like you say, he's really over with the fans at the moment. And I think with the Ezekiel thing with Kevin Owens, it's just a case of no matter what they give Kevin Owens, he still manages to do his part and to make it pretty good. So I just think, that's basically it. Like, I hope they kind of move.
And you got Drew.
Yeah, but like, he's just lost so much steam.
Yeah, bruh. Yeah.
And look, like, I know people have been really high on the happy Corbin and Baron Corbin and stuff. Like, Baron Corbin is no doubt a good heel, but this happy Corbin thing, I feel like it drags people down to like a comedy feud gimmick, whatever. I did not enjoy his feud with Drew coming into Mania. I wonder what, like, are they going to give Riddick Moss a bit of a a gimmick change and maybe push him a little bit? Like, I wouldn't be against that. Like, if I'm Ricochet, I'm looking around and I'm thinking, I ain't holding this title for long, because you've got Gunter's just come to SmackDown. You've got Happy Corbin and Riddick Moss have split. There's a few guys in and around there which may be looking at. And obviously, what's his name? Roman Reigns said that he wants the Usos to unify the tag titles. The next step is to unify those other titles. So they could send one of them after him. If they, do you think there's any chance they bring up? Oh, for God's sake, I've forgotten his name from an NXT. The other Uso. Oh, what's his name?
Solo Sikoa.
Solo Sikoa. Do you think there's any chance that they bring him up like soonish? Because they seem to be moving some people on from NXT. And I don't know. I'm half expecting some of the more popular guys to just be moved up. And I think it's not the worst idea to move him up if he's going to be aligned with Reigns and the Usos, because they can kind of, they can bring him along with them.
To be honest, but I kind of want to see him do his own thing. Like, I ain't gonna lie.
Okay.
Like, I feel like he's sort of finding his way in NXT. Like, I kind of like him doing like his whole like what he's currently doing. He's like involved in the North American title. See, like, I was saying this months ago. Like, I think that he should be North American champion at some point. And if he does get called up to the main roster, I would like to see him. Like, don't treat people like they stupid. Like, we all know that's the Usos' brother. Like, don't sit there and act like that's not his brother. That's not their brother. That's not Roman Reigns' cousin. Like, he didn't grow up with them. Like, that's their real life family. But I would just like to see him be like, well, I'm not about to sit here and like follow behind y'all. I'm about to do my own thing. Like, and I would even like for him to be on the same brand, and like him, like we verbally hear him say, like, I'm not about to like be following in y'all footsteps or riding y'all coattails. I'm about to do my own thing. And actually build him up as a legit singles talent, and then sort of have that that sort of weird sort of like family friction type thing, but it doesn't really get addressed, but you can feel this tension there type of thing between them and Solo. But the Usos kind of got to lean towards Solo because that's their brother opposed to Roman, who's their cousin. And like I feel like it'll be like a real good dynamic for him to sort of be like that foil, like not even breaking up the group, but just adding some friction to it. Like, just because they got issues don't mean they got to break up. But like, I think it'll be really cool to see him be like that person that's like, well, y'all two could follow behind him, but I'm about to do my own thing. And it'll be even cooler because I think he's a little brother. So like, I think that'd be like probably one of the cooler storylines that they could do. But that's wishful thinking right there. Like, but I really do think they should just call him up, leave his name as Solo Sikoa, but don't be like, oh yeah, but we don't know who that. Like, bro, that's the Usos' brother, that's Roman Reigns' cousin, but he's doing his own thing. And then once they eventually cross paths, he'd be like, well, look, that's cool and all what y'all doing, but I want to do my own thing. And there you go, just build them up.
Yeah, it's going to be. Yeah, I think you're giving WWE far too much credit in terms of how they will book him. But I like your idea.
That's my booking. That's my booking. We ain't giving it no credit.
They won't do that. They won't do that. But it's a good idea. And look, I think they need to find a way to get. I don't like the idea of Roman holding both for titles, because I think it takes up room that can, like, it takes up a main event feud on one show, which could be going to someone else. But equally, like you said, they haven't really built up anyone to do those feuds, so maybe it's better on him. I don't know. But then, say they put one of those titles on a Cody or a Drew or a Seth or a Kevin Owens, they could use those guys to try and build up some younger talent into the main event picture. But it depends. Is Brock going to disappear again now for a while? I would have thought probably he will. Isn't there another show soon? Is there like a Backlash show or something coming up? I think there might be.
WrestleMania Backlash on May 8th.
Do you think that's going to be a lot of rematches from WrestleMania?
Oh, hell yeah. It's Ronda and Charlotte already.
Oh my God. That was what a pile of shit. So let's talk about WrestleMania a little bit in terms of kind of the matches and the feuds and stuff. What matches were you excited about?
Real quick. Did you hear about this this UK show that's supposed to be happening Labor Day weekend?
Is that the one in the Millennium Stadium in Cardiff?
It's supposed to be doing like a stadium show or something like that. I think that's what it is.
Yeah, Millennium Stadium in Cardiff, that is.
Yeah.
It's a good stadium for wrestling because it's got a retractable roof on it.
How many
so of all the
seats?
places, it's full. I think it's a 80,000 stadium. But like with
You think
wrestling,
I'm about to say, you think they could pack that out? I don't know if they could pack
oh no,
pack out
I don't know. I
80,000.
don't know if they won't do
They'll
that. They'll
probably do
probably
like
taper off the top tiers. I would have thought
they'll probably
because
do like
you'll
40,
have people on the
40.
pitch.
Yeah,
If they do
I
40,
say they
they'd have to
probably do.
taper off the whole of the top of it because it's a massive, huge
Oh
stadium
yeah,
going around a big rugby pitch. Obviously, the ring will be in the middle of the pitch, I'd imagine, and then they'll put seats on the pitch, which will be a few thousand. But the stadium itself, just on its own, without adding any additional seats, is at 80,000 stadium. Like you can get 80,000 people in there, so they'll have to taper off the top, I guess.
But see, the thing is, they don't really have that many people. That's like I mean, you got like your Romans, your Sashas, Bianca, Kevin, Seth. I think people would come out to see Drew, of course. That's the home country boy right there. Cody, you know what I'm saying? But like Butch, that's a good call. That's a good. No, I'm serious. That's a good call. Like, the name funny as hell, but I think people would come out to see P Dunne. I don't know how many, but I think P Dunne. Like you would, at this point, you would have to include some NXT, like Mark Andrews,
NXT
like
UK, Mark Andrews from
like
Wales.
Mark Andrews from Wales. I don't know what's going on with Flash Morgan Webster right now. I know he turned down the WWE contract offer. So I don't know like what's going on with that whole situation. Yeah, I think Fightful had reported it, that he turned down like he got an extension offer, but he like said no. So I don't know what's going on with that. Like maybe he's just trying to get a little bit more, planning to go elsewhere. But like when I'm thinking about it, I'm like I don't know, like I could see them probably getting like 50. I say 50 to 60 is generous.
I don't know. So there's the one thing inside of me thinks like Cardiff is easy to get to for everyone else in the UK, so people will travel for it. And also we haven't had a WWE big pay-per-view show for so long, and like you have house shows and stuff like this, but they're not the same as having a legit pay-per-view. And I think
y'all popping out for Corbin versus McIntyre.
Well, yeah, that's it. Yeah, but there's still a difference between Corbin versus McIntyre at a house show and a pay-per-view show.
True.
Do you know what I mean? There's just
Very
a different feel to it. But yeah, I know what you're saying. They've not done a good job of building people. And like you look at the mid-card champions, they could have Finn Balor. Finn Balor could be a massive
I forgot about Finn.
for them.
Forgot about Finn.
For them in the UK. But people forget, everyone forgets about him because it's like he's gearing down to retire. They just don't do anything with him. He's not in any feuds really. He wasn't on WrestleMania. It's honestly, it's bizarre.
He's about to drop the title to Austin Theory, bro.
Do you think that's the title Austin Theory will go for? Yeah.
Austin Theory already beat him. He pinned him already.
Yeah, he pinned him. It was a tag match though, wasn't it?
No. I'm talking about last week. He pinned him.
All right.
Raw.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay. So yeah. It's.
That was a tag match. You're right. My bad. You're right. But I mean, he did get the win over him. But yeah, you're right. That was a tag match. I forgot my bad on that.
He's going to win it, isn't he? Let's be honest. But yeah, I think he's going to drop that to Austin Theory, and Ricochet is probably going to drop I forget which way around it is, Intercontinental title.
Yeah.
You could, Gunther's probably got a good chance, but then Riddick Moss
or Butch.
Well. Butch, I would love to see that. People have been hating on the Butch thing. I don't hate the character. I don't hate the character. The name is pointless because everyone knows it's Pete Dunne.
Pete Dunne.
They could have just called him Pete. Just call him Pete.
Hey,
I don't hate the character though of him being like a angry little man. I don't hate that for him because I think
what's the name? PW Insider had reported that Tommaso Ciampa officially got the call up. Do you think they're gonna change his name, or you think
Yeah,
you think they're
he'll
gonna go?
be.
You think they're gonna go the route? You think they go the route where everybody else thinks they should go, which is they could shorten his name and call him Ciampa, but just put him with Edge and Damian Priest in that stable.
Yeah, I think he goes in that stable, and I think he'll be called Tommy Gunn.
Tommy, huh?
That'll be his new nickname. No, I don't know. I just made up. I was trying to think of the most ridiculous name I could think of. No, I think Ciampa is not a terrible name, is it? Compared
Let's
to
call
what
him
he's been
Ciampa.
doing. Yeah,
Let's
and
call him Ciampa, bro.
I think he's a good fit for that stable. Who else was linked with it? Someone else was linked with it, and I thought actually they'd be quite good as well.
Rhea Ripley.
Yeah, I think that's not a terrible idea either to get a woman in there.
They always put her in random ass tag teams anyway. You might as well put her in a team that
so
means
they
something.
put her in a stable that means something, isn't it? I feel so sorry for her. She should be like a top level main event star on the main roster now, and she's just an afterthought who just goes from random tag team to random tag team. They've done such a bad job of like cementing these people as superstars. Like they just make you not want to care. It's so weird. Like going into WrestleMania, what were you excited about? Really?
Seth
What
Cody.
matches for you? Seth Cody. Because that was probably a little
Austin
bit
KO.
because that was good. I was really excited.
Bianca Becky. I wanted to see Bianca get her big title win, so that was cool. Those are probably like my three. I was curious about Pat McAfee and Johnny Knoxville. I was curious about those two in their respective matches. More so Pat McAfee, but I didn't think Knoxville and Zayn was going to be as entertaining as it was. Like I was like, actually, I really liked that match. Like I did not think that was going to be what it was. Like that was a fun match, bro. Like I get people got preferences, but like I feel like people should know what you're getting from WWE these days. Like they like very like lean into the entertainment stuff, bro. If you watching that match and you like mad, bro, something is wrong with you, bro. Like, come on now,
don't be so miserable. It's like
that's what exactly, bro. We man body slammed Sami Zayn, bro. We man body slammed
giant hand. Mark Henry's and Mae Young's daughter. Unreal. It's but you know what, right? If you've got the jackass people and you've got them available to do a match, that's exactly how you should use them. Exactly what they did. So you can't criticize them for that. I thought the way they used Stone Cold was phenomenal. They did everything they should have. He looked pretty good. Kevin Owens was the perfect opponent for him. Made him look like $1 million. But even like at the end when he stunned, sorry, I think that might have been the next night when he came out to Vince and he even stunned Pat McAfee as well. Like I thought that was good. Because at one point it looked, that Byron Saxton was the first night, wasn't it? And then the second night it looked like he was going to celebrate with Pat McAfee, and then he stunned him as well. And I thought that was right. That was the perfect way to do it. I read something this week that said that in the rehearsals, the producers had told him not to give the middle finger when he was like, putting his arms up to celebrate. And it's like as if he was, gonna listen to that. It's stupid, isn't it? Which match is under
like 7
delivered?
years. Austin ain't gonna remember that shit.
Shit. Which match is under delivered for you at Mania?
I mean, I really can't. I don't want to say under-delivered because it's unfortunate. No, because I was gonna say it was unfortunate because Rick Boogs had got injured during that match. And that was like messed up. Yeah. But I feel like that was one of those that got changed on the fly. Like I feel like they definitely was probably gonna win the titles, and then when they saw he was really hurt, they was like, "Well, going back to the Usos, here we go."
Yeah.
And then with Charlotte and Ronda, like that was But this whole Ronda Rousey run thing, bro, it's not clicking. Ronda is not a baby face. Ronda, they should have just let her
They should
be
have
a
learned that the
heel and let
first
her
time.
continue. Like she even said it, in like past, like I think on her Facebook gaming streams, like she just like the crowd was booing the shit out of her when she left. So why would she come back and be like, "Oh my god, I miss you guys"? Like, no, I don't. Like, I came in for one reason and one reason only, to get the belt. Like, I really don't care about
Yeah,
y'all. And then let people naturally gravitate towards her. And then once she's in a position where people are cheering her again, then
then
you
turn
flip
her
the
face.
switch. Then
Yeah,
then you flip the switch and then you turn her face. Like, but you trying to force Ron, like, bro. She and the funny thing was when she said that, bro, she had a legit point. Like, they was booing the shit out of her like the last 3-4 months of her run. Why would she come back and be like, "Oh well, hey, I'm happy to see you guys"? Like, she was like, they
yeah,
was booing the hell out of me. I'm not about to come back and then act like I'm so happy go lucky. Like, I'm about to treat them how they was treating me. And like, I feel like that was
mhm,
like, I'm like, when she said that, I was like, well, I mean, she got a fair point. Like, I think that's one of those cases, bro, but you gotta listen to the talent. Like, she's out there, she's
mhm.
hearing how they reacted to her. I mean, you could kind of say, like, I mean, because I don't even think, I think they just sort of just forced her baby face. I think people just like, yeah, whatever, we just gonna cheer. Like,
The problem is
but I
when you
mean,
force
the thing,
people, people don't care. So like look back at when they were forcing Roman, people just started not caring, and I think that's what this match suffered from, was the crowd didn't care.
yeah, and with Charlotte and Ronda, I just don't think they I mean, I just don't like Charlotte's a good wrestler. Like, I would never sit here and say she's not a bad wrestler at
Mm,
all. Like, it's not that it's not the wrestling that's not good. It's just, but it's just their dynamic just does not work. Like,
mm.
I don't buy Ronda as like this baby face right now. I don't see it, and like I think it would be better if they just establish her as a heel, because I think we all know that they'll probably be going Becky Ronda at next year's WrestleMania, probably. So, I mean, forbid any injuries or anything, coming up, because that's a 4 year from now. But like, man, I think they should sort of do what they did the first Ronda run, and like build up to a title switch, like have her face like mid, like not, I don't want to say mid card, but like, have her face like different people in the division, like do a couple 1-on-1s, pay-per-views, like actually use Ronda Rousey to sort of spotlight people who aren't in the title scene.
Yeah,
Like, use her, like, even if it's a loss for them, you can sort of use Ronda to sort of build up the other like talents in that division that are in the title scene. Because it's just like, if you're not in the women's tag title scene, or you're not in the main women's title scene, like, you just like fucking irrelevant. Like, so I
exactly
think
right.
that they
So
should
having a
use.
feud with Ronda would be good, wouldn't it? To like give
So I
someone
think
something
they could.
else.
I think they could really use Ronda in that role and like naturally build her up. But like, I don't know, the whole Charlotte thing, it ain't clicking for me right now. But I definitely think that they probably, like, regardless of that, they're probably gonna put the title on her at WrestleMania
Mm.
Backlash. They having an I Quit match, so she's probably gonna end up winning it.
Unless
But
Ronda's going to go away for a while, they
see, the
might.
thing, no, I don't think she is, bro. Like, I think she in it
But
for the
then you
long. Like,
can't
she even
have
said, like,
Ronda
she
Rousey quit. You cannot have
exactly.
her
That's what
if
I
she
said. They
if she
gonna
says
put
I
they gonna
quit,
put the title on
that
her.
ruins her character forever. She should have a Kevin. She should have a Ken Shamrock gimmick, in my opinion. Do you remember Ken Shamrock's old gimmick where he was like a shooter and he would just, like be a MMA guy, but then he would just snap and lose his temper with the referee or whatever, and he would just like they disqualify him after the matches, and he would just beat the shit out of everyone. Just have her do that because no one likes her anyway. So just have her like just beat everyone up basically and play to her strengths. They don't do that enough with all guys and girls. Just play to their strengths. Like she could have a really good feud as a heel with like a Liv Morgan, someone she can throw around a bit and like would really do some good selling for her. Like I feel like that could be a good feud to build both of them up. But
About to say, and then they got Bailey and Oscar waiting in the wings. So,
yeah,
I don't know
I'd
what they
quite
going. I
like to
don't know
see
what
an
they're gonna do with them.
Oscar Ronda Rousey feud would be quite good. I think if they let him go, I think that could be good. In terms of the rest of it, I was a little bit disappointed with Brock and Roman. I felt like it was
the same shit. It's the same shit every year, bro. Like, we've seen that match 6 times already, but it's nothing different.
Yeah, and like they'd actually, to some degree, made me care about it, which was remarkable because I've seen that shit so much. I didn't want to see it back when Seth won the Money in the Bank and cashed it in. I didn't want to see it back then. So the fact that they managed to make me a little bit interested in it in 2022 was remarkable. But I was just disappointed with it. I just thought it was just the same old shit, and I find it a bit frustrating because they're both capable of so much. I was interested a little bit by the Miz turn on Logan Paul afterwards because it just didn't make any sense.
That was stupid. That's what I said.
It just didn't make any sense. Didn't make any sense though, did it? Like there was no hint to it. There was no.
It just happened.
It was just weird. So out of place. But I saw someone said that Logan Paul wants to be a baby face. Look, I was quite impressed with Logan Paul in the ring.
Yeah, he did a good job.
But I find it very difficult to believe that he's going to be able to turn the audience around to the point where they're like cheering him and all that shit.
Not happening,
I just cannot see that happening. But you never know. Stranger things have happened, mate. So as we wrap up part 1 of our return show, I wanted to ask you, we haven't talked about AEW at all. So things have been happening in AEW. You got the Blackpool Combat Club with William
Regal.
Got
Joe versus Suzuki this week.
Samoa Joe is back. Is that this week, Samoa Joe and Suzuki? Oh,
for the television title. I can't wait to see that, bro. That's going to
be awesome. Oh, mate, we haven't even talked about Ring of Honor. What do you think AEW is going to do with Ring of Honor?
Probably do like a weekly, TV taping thing. Like I think it's going to be like, and I hate saying this because like it seems like disrespectful, but it's not. I think it's going to be like a more high grade version of like Dark. Like I think there's going to be like they're going to do television tapings, but with actual storylines. Like they're going to flesh it out, and then it's going to coincide with what they do on AEW TV. Like certain things are going to happen on ROH, and then it'll feed into AEW and stuff like that, and go back and forth. Like I know talents are signed to AEW through Ring of Honor now, so they'll be a part of the Honor roster and stuff like that. So, I think they should. One of the times I think they should sign is Willow Nightingale. I think they should definitely sign her. But yeah, man, I think that's gonna be I think it's good because they'll have like talents who we like. We're like when people be asking like what are top flight? You know what I'm saying? Like people want to see them more on TV and stuff. And I think by them having Ring of Honor, like you can go there and do that stuff. Like Will or Yuta probably go pick up some more wins and like on that ROH side, like he had that great match with Moxley this past week on Rampage. And it's a couple of other people like. That people probably really want to see like shit. Like you got people on the roster on the AEW roster who like like I said, a lot of people sort of have their eye out for like, hey, where's this person? Can we see this person more? Like, so I like to say, if Ruby Soho not gonna be featured on Dynamite a lot or Rampage a lot, and she's got on dark shit, put her in Ring of Honor, man. Let me see that. You know what I'm saying? Like, do that more. Like I think that's what it's for. Like to sort of be like a feeder. And so to let people who don't get a chance to sort of be on TV on a regular basis on AEW's platform, use that for Ring of Honor. So I think it's a good thing. It's gonna be cool, man. I'm excited.
Where do you think it goes TV wise?
Let's see that I do not know. I have not a clue. Not a clue. Like, I mean, you maybe like on a streaming service. Probably like I don't know. Like I really don't know. I don't know where they have it. I really don't know.
TNT or Turner got their own streaming service.
Oh yeah, TBS over Turner, yeah.
So Turner's got their own streaming service. Like I don't know what, like Netflix and stuff like that, and all the other different ones you can get. Like, so I wonder whether they might put it on there, I guess, or like is it
they
Bleacher
got like
Report or something?
no, I think that's I don't know,
Pay-per-view.
but I'm not gonna try to answer that. But yeah, but I know they do their stuff through like fight and stuff. But maybe they, I think probably the thing for Ring of Honor. I think the best bet is probably just for now, like maybe because I know like past episodes of Dynamite they get put up on I believe on like the TBS or the Turner like website official site, like this like past episodes and stuff like up, and I know it
Okay.
gets uploaded like um or updated on a frequent basis, but maybe like that could be sort of your outlet to like sort of throw some Ring of Honor stuff up there. But I don't know like how all that shit works, but like different deals and stuff like that. So I don't know, like maybe for now you just sort of stick to doing like maybe bi-monthly or monthly events, like, and you just stream it on Fight, and then until you get the whole TV situation together or streaming situation together, you kind of hold off on the other stuff for now.
Do you think Ring of Honor and AEW will be eventually completely separate? So, or do you think we see storylines crossing over potentially? So, like,
go ahead.
I don't know if I think it's going to be like a separate brand, so to speak, eventually, or whether it'll legitimately it'll just be like crossing over all the time.
Yeah, I think that's the whole point of why they have it. I think it's just gonna be a crossover between the two sides. And yeah, Bleacher Report. Bleacher Report is under the. I don't know why I had brain freeze right there. It's been a long ass week, bro. And the week just started, and it's been a long ass week. But you know what I mean, past week and a half and stuff like that. But yeah, Bleacher Report is under the Bleacher Report is under the Turner umbrella. So I mean, maybe that could be a maybe that could be a route. But I think for Ring of Honor, I think that'll always be like as long as Tony Khan owns it, like it'll be like that sort of feeder thing, and it's AEW. And I think we're gonna get like the likes of Jonathan Gresham popping up on AEW TV at some point. Hopefully it gives us that Bryan Danielson dream match. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people want to see like the thing that they kind of like about thing I really like about AEW, what they do like with a lot of their talents, like on the like with Samoa Joe and CM Punk and the Hardys and guys like that. That's sort of on the back end of their full-time careers. Like they're not Tony Khan's not like fucking around with it. Like, oh well, let's wait. Let's wait to like no, bro, do it now. Like all the dream, do it now. Like Joe Suzuki, like give me all that right now. Hardy's fucking having table matches. Jeff Hardy flying off of jumping off of like structures in the building and jumping off of that. Like, bro, give me all that right now. Like we ain't gotta wait 2 months to get into the thick of it. CM Punk calling this shot for the AEW World Title, and he literally said whoever wins that match between Hangman and Adam Cole that's taking place on Rampage, he's going to be facing that person. So you know what I'm saying? Like it's
man.
Like I like that stuff. Like we don't have to. We ain't gotta wait for every. I mean, it's good to have stuff drawn out, but like sometimes, bro, it's okay to just do it.
Do it.
And like even it's cool now that we ain't even got Kenny Omega back yet. I don't know why. Why the fuck did I say we? But like they don't have Kenny Omega back yet. Like they don't even have Kenny Omega back yet. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
so
do you know what's wild, mate? Is CM Punk wasn't on Dynamite last week, and no one
that was fine.
No one noticed. But that's why they're able to keep refreshing, and then next week he'll be on, and as long as they don't go away for too long, I think they're so they're really good at that, at kind of keeping you interested, and as long as you don't end
it's the
up
same way with Omega, bro. It's the same thing with Omega, but they
can you
don't need him
imagine
right
the
now.
pop when Omega comes back? When
it's gonna be crazy.
Depending on how he comes back as well.
He's gonna be fully
there's a
healthy
few
too.
different ways. Like the pop he gets, there's a few different directions they can kind of go in as well. So it's looking real good. Last question, mate, and then I'll let you go until Wednesday. Which, if you could pick a name in AEW, which is maybe a bit out there, not necessarily all the names that have been linked with it, to go into the Blackpool Combat Club, who would you pick to go alongside Will Yuta and Moxley and Bryan Danielson, William Regal? Someone a bit different. Because I know a lot of people have said Danny Garcia, but Garcia's obviously, they've just started this Jericho stable. So I don't see him
Jackass Society.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to move him out of that anytime soon.
I'm not a big Jericho guy, if you don't remember. So
I know.
No Jericho praise on this show. Not for me. You ain't getting it from me. You probably had to like fucking.
He was in good shape. Got himself in good shape, mate. I will say that.
Yeah. Shout out to him for that. I will give him credit for that. But everything else, nada. He gets nothing from me. But kudos to you getting in better health as always, sir. Always good to see people doing that. But
do you know who I'd like to see in there in the BCC? I'd like to see Samoa Joe in there. I think that could be cool. Why not? Make him a fucking super stable.
Nah, too many vets.
Too strong.
Many vets. No, too many vets. Yeah, I think the rest of the people should join. This should just be like
younger guys,
unestablished talent. Like, because I mean, you got Regal, you got Brian, you got Mox. Like, that's enough vets, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, the only vet that I would actually like to see join. Matter of fact, I'm gonna take that back. The only vet I would actually like to see join Serena Deeb. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. Because I would have to see how that look. But I mean, I would like to see probably Lee Moriarty in there to get him on TV more.
Yeah.
So to bring a sort of edge out of him. I think you could do the exact. I think you could do the exact same thing with him that you did with Will or Yuta. Like, sort of just have him bring that edge out week by week. Like, let him show that fight, and then that's when you slowly bring him into the fold. I think that'd be cool.
But I read somewhere, I can't remember where, that there's plans for them to put Lee Moriarty with Keith Lee and someone. So I don't know if that is the direction, because they do love a stable there. But there's some real good shit going on at the moment. And what I like as well is they've loosely hinted at like Hangman and the Young Bucks kind of making up, but not. They hinted at it and then they left it. They'd completely left it alone. And then they've carried on the feud. And then at some point, there'll be a point where Red Dragon and Adam Cole are beating down Hangman Page, and they'll have to make a decision of whether they're going to help or whether they're going to help Hangman. And I think it's going to be real good stuff. But
the young Bucks are, I think they're going to be babyface before AEW goes back to California. The Young Bucks are getting that babyface pop when they go to California. And I mean, they already going to get a pop, but like I think it'll be increasing their baby faces.
Yeah, I think so. And I think it makes sense for them to. It made sense for them to eventually make up with Adam Page from the moment they didn't interfere in the Kenny Omega match. Like, they set that up beautifully for a reunion. Even though I really enjoy the Elite as a group, not so much since Red Dragon have been there, but the Elite as a group, I really enjoy them when they're all there. Like, I would have liked to have seen Hangman in there, but he's just outgrown it as a group. So, and you get to see like the Undisputed Era versus the Elite in some form as well, which is going to be a banger. And FTR doing some good stuff. Why did they fire Tony Blanchard?
What a run with them. What a run for FTR, man. What a string that match they had with the Briscoes at Supercard of Honor, and then having to bang with the Bucks on Dynamite. They're having a great run. They're having a great run right now. They on
talented fellas. Do you think they got rid of Tully so they can turn babyface? Is that basically why? Because like that's the only reason I can think of it.
If that's the case, then it's working. But I mean, I only think it's because of that. I just think they just having great ass matches. Like, and that just further proves the most simple thing in the world in pro wrestling. If you go out there and you let people do what they do, I promise you they can get over. Like, look at FTR. Bro, I don't even think like I the only like hint of babyface turn that I saw was when they sort of told MJF to get out of their face when he was like like he like
Yeah,
his whole situation with Warlow sort of distracted them during their match. I think that was like the only time where it was like ever
yeah. They
any
said
type of hint of like
we're
babyface thing
friends.
like that. Bro, that was probably like the only thing I could remember like from FTR wise that like was like even a hint
Yeah, they
of
said
them going babyface.
in a backstage promo, they said to MJF, we're friends with you and we're friends with Wardlow and we don't want to be in the middle or something like that. And then they had the match and they got distracted or whatever. And yeah, like you said, they told him to get out of their face. Right, my friend, it's been good to catch up. As always, we fly around from topic to topic. It's always a good time. We'll be recording part 2 Wednesday, so I might put this out on Wednesday, this part 1, and then put part 2 out on Thursday. I don't know yet. We'll see. But as always, my friend, it's been a pleasure. Guys, check out Andrew at AD Thompson __ on the socials. Check out his work at postwrestling.com. Most importantly, check out his YouTube channel, Andrew Thompson Interviews, for all the best interviews in wrestling. Andrew, is there anything you would like to add?
It's good to see you, my brother.
Oh, it always cheers me up, mate, when we do these shows. It's been probably why I've been in such a bad mood since like November, because we haven't done a show and we haven't been able to like chat from across the pond. So I look forward to Wednesday, my friend. You take it easy, you have a good time, and we'll play this banging tune to finish the show, as always.
Let's do it.
It's a fire song.
All in my bag, you been all in my business. You be all in your feelings. I been all in them trenches. I been all in my bag.